Hello again and welcome to the vlog brought to you by ITAM Intelligence and Sam Charter in support of the hardware asset management process kit that we have put together between us. If you haven't seen us before, this is Kylie Fowler to my right and my name is Rory Canavan. And this month we're going to be talking about the loan equipment process. So Kylie, what can you say about the loan equipment process?
So loan equipment, it can be a pain to manage, but actually it is good to have a pool of loan equipment. It has quite a few benefits. One is it reuses old equipment. It's a great way of taking old low spec equipment and just getting it back out and getting a bit more value out of it. The benefit of giving out older spec equipment on loan to people is, particularly if something's come back for repair and the person obviously needs to keep working. If you give them a brand spanking new piece of equipment out of stock, they're not going to want to have their old piece of equipment back. Whereas if you give them an old scungy, that's a nice Australian word, isn't it? Scungy laptop that is under spec and really doesn't work very well, they're going to be very happy to get their original piece of equipment back.
Fair enough.
Not that I'm mean or anything, but you know.
It's human nature though, isn't it? Unfortunately.
It is, yeah, exactly. So the big challenges with the loan laptops are really tracking them and making sure they come back so that you just don't have a constant string of, you're constantly running out of your pool of loan laptops. So the thing you must do is always put a due date on them, and then you must follow up to make sure that you get it back or extend the due date if that's required. You also, the other thing about loan laptops is you do need to keep them patched and up to date, and that can be particularly challenging just because, you know, a lot of the time they're sitting there doing nothing. So one of the places I have worked had a little, schools use them a lot, they're little metal containers that are networked in the back of them. And so what schools do obviously is they'll have their training laptops and they use that to patch and that sort of they patch them all through that cupboard.
Oh right, okay.
Because they're on the network, you know, so, and they just sit in these little trays in the cupboard. So they patched it through there, and you can just buy them online. I mean, they're a couple £100, I think, and then you just need to set it up and stuff. And the big problem, to be honest, I think, is that they get a little bit hot.
Right.
That, you know, it works for schools, so it will work for you, I would imagine. Yeah. And that way you're keeping everything patched and up to date, and you don't have any vulnerabilities there just because the loan laptop hasn't been out on loan for 6 weeks. And also it means that when you put it out on loan, the person isn't spending half a day waiting for all the updates to come down.
Yeah, that's an absolute pain, isn't it?
It is,
yeah. And I suppose too, there's a certain point at which loan laptops then truly have reached end of life.
Yeah.
So there is but then I suppose then there's always a ready supply of new old laptops that can come along and sort of replace them then at that point.
I mean, most companies will really only have a pool of 5 or 10 laptops per couple of thousand people, I would have thought, you know. I think a loan laptop pool probably is less useful in companies where you've got a lot of people working off-site all the time. So construction companies and things like that, it becomes a bit expensive for them to maintain a loan laptop pool because you're carrying loan laptops everywhere. That's when you might as well just swap it out permanently. So those sorts of companies might not have the pool, or they might have a smaller pool that they just use in head office or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah. So yeah, actually, I mean, it's a fairly straightforward process.
It sounds it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a useful one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Good.